Hello and welcome to that moment at last. It's FM22 plans time with the beta just a couple of weeks away and long-term stories being concluded from this year's game. We've got to get ready for next season. We've got lots to talk through today. We'll get to that in a moment. Very quickly though, I do just want to give a brief thanks to the Luton Town Football Club and their calendar selection for October, which if I turn that way, you can see behind my head, Peli Ruddock-Panzu, making it look like I've got the old bunny ears throughout this entire episode. We're going to talk about the plans on the days after the beta's released and what we're going to do throughout the rest of the season too. There's also a very brief mention of another game as well, just because of the time of the year we're at. So if you're looking forward to all of that, you're excited for the new game, please do put a thumbs up on the video, subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on to make sure you don't miss a thing. And I'll put a link to the Twitch channel in the eye above. When we started FM21, we were still streaming here on YouTube. Now the majority's over on Twitch, so please do go and follow us there. You won't miss a thing. And in the meantime, we've even got live football watch-alongs too. So plenty of times we can just hang out and have a chat. It's always been good fun so far. Thank you as always for your incredible support. And let's move on to Series 1. Because as usual, like last year, we're going to have two long-term stories running. One of them is very familiar to the channel. You know it very well. We do it every year. For anyone new along, you'll learn a bit more in a moment. Then we rotate that with a one club story, which is going to be slightly different to what we did last time round. Each day we will have an episode at 3:30 PM, a time slot that we coincidentally found last year that seemed to work out. However, in the first 2 weeks of the beta, we try and get 2 episodes out a day, so daily episodes from both series for the first 10 to 14 days. After that, every day at 3:30 we'll just rotate between our main series and from our one club series too. Let's start with the staple holder of the channel, the head coach. It is back for its 5th itinerary here, the second one since we've had Facecam and known what we were doing. For FM22, we will be producing the head coach again. But this time, we're going to load a few little wacky leagues at the start. I haven't quite got the PC that can load everything and start wherever. And we do have to bear in mind realism. We're a young English manager with no coaching badges, with no experience. We would likely get a job right at the bottom of English football or Scottish football or Welsh or Northern Irish. We're not likely to get big jobs in Germany, Spain, Italy, wherever it may be. However, I'm going to load a few slightly oddball leagues. A couple of lower tiers in Scandinavia. A couple of lower tiers maybe in the likes of India. We'll load the Premier League over there. We're going to load some leagues in China, Australia, etc. Just try and give ourselves a bit of variety in the early first decade of the save. Just to try and make our path to the elite level at the top a bit more difficult. Now, for those of you that have never followed the head coach before, it's very simple rules. Normal football manager with the addition of a director of football challenge and a journeyman save. We start unemployed with no coaching badges, no experience, no international football in our past. We take whatever job we can get and work under the director of football model. We have no say in transfers, no say in staffing, no say in contracts. We cannot use the staff search or player search screen in any save, and in this save it would be utterly useless anyway. In the National League North and South, when you might have the worst director of football in the world, we live with whatever 14-man squad we've been given. And if we're at the top level and we get the best signings in the world, it's our lucky day and we can make it to the top very easily. We've had varying success on the channel in the past. Last season's one, which I'll put in the eye above, was brilliant fun. And probably our first ever meteoric rise, I think it would be fair to say. However, a couple of years before that, at the start of FM19, we started with 2 sackings. We've started in England, we've started in Scotland, we've started all over the place before. But this year, it should be bigger and better than ever. So I hope you'll join along for me. Please do catch up with the FM21 edition if you haven't already. It's brilliant fun. It always leads to some chaotic moments. It always leads to some hilarious frustration. But one thing you never get is boredom when it comes to the head coach. So I can't wait for that one. That will be the main series on the channel as always. But it will be joined this year by a very different one club story. This year, of course, with Bangor City, we've been building a nation in Wales. We've had our frustrations, but it's been a brilliantly fun save, and it even continues into next week. Again, the link to that series will be up in the eye above. However, this year, we're going back to England. We're building a club rather than a nation. There's a couple of reasons for this. So the first one, where we've encountered with Bangor, is we found a little bit of difficulty when we reached the early European qualifiers. Because we've not got a game in PC and I can't have all the leagues loaded, it does make it a little unrealistically easy to get through those games against your sort of Dinamo Zagrebs and the mid-nation sides who would normally probably batter Bangor City in qualifying. So that's something I don't want to readdress until FM23 when hopefully I've got the PC to cope with it. The other reason is I miss English football. I haven't done a Builder Club properly since Torquay and FM19 and I've really missed it. It's something I used to do every year off camera before I started doing this, and something I haven't done since I've started doing FM properly and known what I was doing with Facecam on here. I'd really like to get it going, and we're going to do it with a semi-professional club. Now, with Torquay, we got to the top because they started professional. Off camera the year before that with York, I got to the top, starting professional. But I've gone back through all my old saves up to FM07, and starting as a semi-pro side in England's bottom playable league, I have never won one of the big two competitions. I've won FA Cups, League Cups, Europa Leagues, Europa Conferences even in recent years, but I have never won an English Premier League or a Champions League, and that will be the objective. The team we have selected is a fairly local one, and one we've got a little bit of channel history with. I mentioned that FM19 head coach where we got sacked in our first two jobs, and one of those jobs was Hemel Hempstead. We lasted 4 episodes that time. We last 4 episodes this time, it might be a disaster, but they are officially my most local club at that level, and they are the club we have selected. Hemel Hempstead Town, the Tudors, are the club we'll be taking from the National League South, hopefully to Premier League and Champions League glory. But again, no use of the player search screen, no use of the staff search screen. We don't want to make this too easy. We have to find players and staff organically. We're going to have to work our backsides off. Hemel Hempstead, a side in real life that have started the season awfully. Ironically, their job might be available in the head coach because they are currently managerless with 3 weeks to go until the new game. But it seemed apt, given them being local and given our history with the club on this channel, that we gave them a second go. A very different looking squad now. It's going to be great fun. And hopefully we don't get sacked in that first season because it could make it a very difficult year on the channel if we do that. So those are our 2 long-term stories. You know me, no beta saves, none of that stuff. As soon as the game comes out, we will be starting every day with our 2 long-term stories. So at 11:30, we will have our 1 club story. And at 3:30, we will have our head coach series. That will be for the first 2 weeks of the beta. And then after that, we'll move to every day at 3:30 with the 2 series rotating. So that is all the stuff I can't wait for. But let's talk about the beta and let's talk about Twitch because live streams are becoming a big important part of this channel. So on the day the beta comes out, as long as it's not one I'm working, the plan is that as soon as we get it, I'm going to record the first head coach, edit that down quickly, and then once that's uploading, we're going to go live. We're not going to start a save, a bit like last year. We're not going to do anything spectacular. We're going to go live on YouTube and we're just going to say, what clubs do you want to see? What teams do you want to see? What players do you want to see? Let us know and we'll go and have a look at them. It worked really well last year. It was a fun 45 minutes or so, albeit late in the evening. And it usually leads to us finding a few surprises. And just for those people who can't get the game on the first day but want to see what certain players are like, just gives you an opportunity to ask for who you want to see. However, we're also going to be planning our FM22 beta save, which will be over on Twitch. So you remember last year with Wigan here on YouTube, I did a save every day during the beta for an hour or so, at 5:30 each night. Well, we're going to do the same again. We're going to get started either the day of or the day after the beta, depending what time of the day it comes out. And we are going to be managing a point deducted side. Now, ideally, I'd like it to be Derby County. However, I'm aware a few of the big boys in the YouTube community might well jump on the bandwagon for the points deduction. So if they do, we go for Dover instead. But either way, one of the points deducted sides will be who we're managing in FM22's beta series. For those who weren't there with Wigan last year, it's a 1-season save. We try and achieve the unthinkable, and hopefully we get some success with it too. And of course, by the time the beta comes out, Reading might have had a points deduction as well, because there's talks about that at the moment. So there could be more than 2 selection options at that point. But for now, it will definitely be a point deducted side that we manage in the beta on Twitch. So please do follow us over there in the eye above to stay up to date with that. Because throughout the beta, here on the YouTube community page and on the Twitch streams, we are going to have our vote for our main live stream series. So once the full games come out and we've done our season with Reading or Derby or Dover, we are going to be taking a Builder Nation over to Twitch. We're going to be doing it via the live streams, but it's not going to be one of the big minnow nations that we're going to be rising all the way through the ranks. We're going to take a fallen giant club-wise and raise them in their own nation, then take the nation to the top 2. So here are the 4 options we've got for the save. The first one, Helsingborgs. I've announced this on stream already, so not a huge surprise. Drop to the 2nd tier in Sweden. Scandinavia, somewhere I've always wanted to manage. But just a little bit of a fall from grace for them. Of course, a former club of the likes of Henrik Larsson, and now they're in the 2nd tier. We want to be able to take them back, and that's one of our options for the live streams. The second is Palermo of Italy. Dropped to the 3rd tier, had financial problems, issues off the pitch, and the famous team in pink who spent most of my childhood in the top tier of Italy are now down in Serie C. So if you want to see that one, that will be one of the voting options too. The third, similar to Palermo, but in Spain this time, is Deportivo La Coruña. Dropped down to the Segunda Division B. It's a really disappointing fall from grace again. One of the first sides I remember watching on the ITV Champions League nights, around 2000 mark. The likes of Fran and Lionel Scaloni, Diego Tristan, so many more. But Deportivo now a 3rd tier side. So there's your 3rd option. And the 4th one, little bit of a wild card. Not a lower league side this time, but another side that have had a bit of a fall from grace. Standard Liège. Now, for those of you that follow on Discord and get involved in the chat there, you'll know we got quite involved this season early doors in watching Belgian football. And Standard Liège are a side that I was initially surprised to not see near the top. Big sales in the recent past, loads of money coming into the club, but poor ownership, poor financial decisions, and the fact that they've now had off-the-field problems too. I mean, they're actually languishing near the bottom of the league. They're a side that need boosting, they're a side that need to get back to Europe, and I guess once you get to the top in Belgium, there's a bit more of a build a nation element there, like Sweden, than there is in Italy and Spain. So those are going to be our 4 options. You'll be able to vote on them here on the community page and during the Twitch streams throughout the beta. So I hope at least one of those 4 options tickle your fancy. And of course, once the vote is live, we'll post it on social media and on Discord as well. Right, so now we've dealt with the main game, FM22, let's move on to the mobile edition. Now that comes out on the full release date, I believe, which is November the 9th. And last season, we did a little mini-series with Ballymena United. Just a little bit of fun and mainly an experiment for me because I'd never done content via a mobile before. And it actually went down quite well. Despite not being a good series, technically, I didn't have the tripod, the lighting, all of that stuff. But it did go down okay and you seem to enjoy it. So I'm going to do a little mini one this year as well. I haven't decided which club yet, but I am definitely going to go for the Scottish Championship. We had loads of success in Scotland last year on the channel, and I'd like to be able to give a little tribute to that. I'm edging towards Arbroath because where we've been doing our Scottish Championship live streams on Twitch, I've really enjoyed watching them play. And they are one of the sort of lower reputation sides in the league, one of the semi-pro sides. I think it'll be a fun challenge. So Arbroath is likely the club, but Scottish Championship definitely the destination. Similar to last year, just a 1 season, 5 or 6 part save. And we'll have a little bit of fun with and review the mobile game as we go along. So I hope you can join that too. And finally, it's time for non-FM talk, because this year, it seems to be touch and go media-wise, but there is due to be an Ashes series starting in December, and Big Ant Studios have announced Cricket 22, which is due to come out a week or so before the Ashes. I'm delighted because for a long time I thought the 2 releases were going to clash, but it looks like we're going to get about 4 weeks between the beta and Cricket 22. So for those of you that were here 3 years ago or so, it wasn't a great series, but we made an Ashes test series. We just played through one Ashes test. We did a session highlights every single episode. And even though at the time I only had about 500 subscribers, it did brilliantly. It was good fun. I didn't have a clue how to make content then, and it sounded really bizarre. I was talking at 100 miles an hour. I sounded like a train conductor, which a few people pointed out. But we've sorted that now. It should be a little bit easier. And I'm really looking forward to making that. So providing the Ashes goes ahead and Cricket 22 comes out, that will be a series you can expect to see towards the end of November and the start of December. I know I've got a fair few followers from non-cricket playing nations. So for you guys, I hope you'll at least come and give it a try. I hope you'll have a bit of fun with it. But I understand if not everyone wants to see that too. But Cricket 22 will be a part of the feature on this channel later in the year. In the meantime though, FM22 and FM22 Mobile will take centre stage. Please do put a thumbs up on the video if you're looking forward to the plans. Subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on to stay up to date with all of our new released episodes. Please do consider following on Twitch as well for regular live streams. We had great fun with the beta last year and I hope we can do the same again. Let me know down in the comments who you're going to be managing this year. I'd be really interested to hear that from you guys too. What are you planning to achieve? Are you doing a big one club story? Are you raising your favourite club? Or are you doing a little bit of a journeyman like me? If there's anyone bold enough to go for the head coach, the director of football model, we're waiting to see if that's going to improve in this year's game. Because otherwise, we could have some frustrating moments, but it all leads to part of the drama, doesn't it? A massive thank you for watching, for your support as always. I owe you a massive thanks for over doubling my channel size in the last year. I feel like for the first time I'm making comfortable content, I'm making relaxed content, and hopefully making good content too. So I hope you'll come and join me for FM22. We've got plenty of plans in place. And a massive thank you as always for choosing to support it. It does make a massive difference. I'll see you next time as the beta edges closer. Bangor City still going strong next week for FM21. But the excitement's starting to build now. So hopefully I'll see you next time.